What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube and Rumble subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at it again with another New York Giants call-in pain stream show. As usual, Week 14, the Giants went out, faced the Los Angeles Chargers, and dropped the ball. Shout out to Mike Nixon. He's already in here. I'm gonna pop him on in a second. I see Big Blue in the Bronx in the chat. I see Sober Party in the chat. Bryson Sports Talk in the chat. Let me know if you guys could hear me properly. Edward Chan in here as well. All right. If anybody knows how to work webcam, well, let me know. Because as you could see, the light is completely washing me out, and I'm not sure why. I'm going to try and down the brightness of this light and see if that changes anything. I mean, it's down now. I think it does look a bit better, but it's still there. Big Play Slay in here. King Sean. Andrew Spagnolo. I'm going to get to the chat and get to popping on the callers soon. I just wanted to give my thoughts on this game and the team as right now because I didn't have a chance to record my reaction video yesterday or today. Yesterday, I was just so deflated from the game itself. I was just so taken out. It was like a gut punch. And then today I was just busy, I got school and whatnot. So let me just give my thoughts in general. It's the same soup, just reheated with this team. Same thing, just different week. But like I was watching the Washington versus Dallas game yesterday, which was a great game. There was a lot of good games yesterday. A lot of them that started out as blowouts, like the Washington-Dallas one, but it became close at the end. Bills-Patriots was a blowout at one point, but then the Bills ended up coming back. And then, they not Bills-Patriots, Bills-Buccaneers. Bills end up coming back. Buccaneers won in overtime. There was a lot of good games. But watching that Dallas Cowboy versus Washington football team game, because, it's our division rival, and I'm like, let me keep up with the division rival, see what they're doing while, Giants are over here floundering. I looked at both teams, which were suffering from injuries. And the Giants are suffering from way more injuries than those teams. So don't think that's where I'm going with this. But the Cowboys' defense last year was one of the worst defenses in the NFL, if not the worst. Everybody knows it was a big talking point that they were on pace to becoming a historically bad defense in the NFL last year with the amount of points they were letting up and the amount of yardage they were letting up each game. A lot of that changed in the offseason. There was a lot of reasons for that. A changing defensive coordinator. They got Dan Quinn, a guy who really seemed to have redeemed himself in the coaching aspect of the game. He didn't work out in Atlanta. He was great in Seattle. Came to Dallas, and he's coaching up a great defense right now. They had a turnover of the roster. A lot of people that was on that defense last year are no longer there. But also, their starters came back. And what I mean by that is that last year, they had starters that were injured. DeMarcus Lawrence is probably the biggest example, and I mentioned him because it was that pass rush yesterday that got to Washington and that essentially won them that game. That Dallas defense was what won them that game, and specifically that Dallas pass rush with DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons, of course. But I say all that, and even Washington was dealing with injuries on their defensive line. But I say all that because other teams get injuries, and their players come back, and the players stay healthy. With the Giants, our players get injured, they come back, and they get injured. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Now, I don't think the Giants are constantly drafting just injury-prone players, because if that's the case, we have to have the worst scouting and the worst, just the worst scouting department ever. And I already don't have too much faith in our scouting department. But we also have the worst luck ever to be continuously drafting guys that are going to get injured week in, week out. But there's a reason Kenny Golladay came back and then immediately hurt his ribs. There's a reason Kadarius Toney came back and hurt himself immediately. There's a reason every time a player comes back for us, they don't look fully healthy. It's because they aren't. And that's the problem with the Giants. Last year, when players on the Cowboys and Washington were hurt, and just other teams, when they're hurt, the team, medical staff, training staff, coaching staff, whoever's involved, I list all three of them because all three of them play major roles, they let them sit out and they let them rest and they let them just recuperate for as long as they need. They're thinking about long-term player health, long-term player career, and for the team. With the Giants, they value the short-term and the immediate way too much. And that's why we see our players rushed back, and I really do think that's it. We see Saquon Barkley rush back a lot. Kadarius Toney rush back. Kenny Golladay rush back. Daniel Jones is the greatest example. He was clearly rushed back last year. in that Cardinals game. We were all lied to, told that he could protect himself, and he was not. You know what I'm saying? And then of course it's the same thing this year. He was injured in Tampa Bay, and you guys know my big rant about that. And they still say let's put him in there, and they still send him design runs that's gonna injure his neck further, and that's exactly what happened. And now the dude has to get like neck surgery. That's crazy. Um, the point is we don't take care of our players' health, and they rushed him back too early, and just they value the short term too much, and that's why we never have a consistently healthy roster. At least it's part of the reason as to why we never have a consistently healthy roster. Dallas last year, they were like, let their players rest, let them come back for the 2021 season, and their defense will, get back to form. And the defense has gone back to form and even more. They're one of the best defenses in the NFL, honestly, in my opinion. And you could go once again to any other team in the league, and you'll see similar examples. But in addition to just everything that's been going on, I just noticed that while watching the games around the league yesterday, because I believe we played around 4 o'clock instead of the usual 1 o'clock time slot. So it gave me a chance to observe another team. But other than that, I'm going to let Mike come on. Shout out to, I see Nate in here. What up, Nate? Definitely would want to have you on here. What you got to say. NYG True Fan. And Lucas, what's up, man? Shout out to the member Lucas. Says still representing. Nice work. Got to, man. But Mike, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, Pub?
What up, man?
I can't watch this team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, from all the reports, Judge will be back next year. And I'm seriously thinking about not watching the Giants next year because,
Nah, you're saying that now, but probably not next year. Who knows?
no, I'm seriously thinking about it because it's going to be the same old shit that I'm watching right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Pathetic.
I mean, Lucas
Joe,
says it right now. Lucas is a Cardinals fan. He's like, it's just not fun to watch.
yeah, yeah, totally. Joe just needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
And with putting Daniel Jones in in that Eagles game was not a good move
Mm-hmm.
because just had to know he was hurt. He
Yeah.
had to.
And for anybody that's like, it's still, in my opinion, kind of speculation. But I'll say this. Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. I mixed up Lucas with Calvin. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know why. Yeah, Lucas, of course, is a Giants fan. Shout out to Lucas, man. I believe he was the dude. Listen, Lucas, I apologize for it. I don't know why I mixed you up with Calvin. But yeah, Lucas, big time Giants fan. Continue, Mike. I just had to correct myself real there.
And it's now to the point that we don't know what what the future's gonna hold for Daniel Jones because structural damage to your neck is very, very, very serious.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I heard, Daniel Jones may have the same type of structural damage as Cam Chancellor, and he can no longer play football anymore.
Cam Chancellor, yeah, retired early.
So, I mean, now it's like, are we gonna have to draft a QB in this draft?
Mm-hmm.
Because we do not know what the future's gonna lie for Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, nothing like, we need a quarterback, but in the same sense, I never want to see somebody lose their career to an
Yeah.
injury.
And I feel like I want to clarify something before I give my thoughts on that because I agree with you, which is that what up, Cowboy X Factor? Shout out to Cowboy X Factor, guys. Definitely go and check out his channel and his Instagram page as well. Obviously, Cowboys fan, content creator, great dude. With the Joe Judge thing and whether or not he knows, that Daniel Jones had the structural leg damage, I personally believe he does because in my opinion, it just seems kind of fishy that it just looks like they're trying to cover it up now. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, it is speculation. I do need to put that
Mm-hmm.
disclaimer out there,
Yeah.
even though I feel like there's just the fact that they're trying to cover it up, and Joe Judge has never kind of told us the truth anyway. Kind of
Yeah.
suggests that he did know something at the least. And then of course going back to I keep referencing the Carpenter. This man told us for a while now that DJ was going to be out for the season. I don't think tweets get deleted out of nowhere and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That just doesn't happen. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I completely agree with you. I say forget the career part. They risked his life. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Which goes to the medical staff needs to be fired.
I've been saying
It,
that for years.
yeah.
You heard my
We've
rant at the beginning, right? Like, what do you think about that? In addition to this whole Daniel Jones thing, do you agree with it? Have we been rushing players back, or like what?
we have we have to protect our coaches and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now well now when it came out earlier that Leonard Williams is
Oh yeah, Leo's
probably
out for the season. No, he's it's not probably. I saw that he is out for the season with
yeah
an elbow injury.
yeah
When it rains, it pours. Because after that, there was a report out that said Kadarius Toney is out indefinitely
hmm
because of COVID as well.
and isn't this like the third or second time
I think it's the second
he
time he's on the COVID list. And honestly, like I was saying earlier, I don't know how many times it's actually for COVID and how many times it's because he isn't fully healed. Because once again, I don't trust our training and medical staff. You know what I'm
yeah
saying?
it's
Eh,
it's just pathetic. This
yeah.
franchise has really became a laughing stock
I will say
just
this sober party.
just
I'm not sure. Mike,
for
do you have
this
any knowledge
year.
on this real quick? Do you
What?
have any knowledge on this? He's like, do we get awarded a comp pick if like an injury ends a player's career? I don't know. That sounds kind of
I
weird.
don't think we do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we do, unfortunately.
Mm.
But it's
Nate
it's
says he's not
just
sure. He doesn't think there is.
it's just sad. It's just sad because what we thought this team would be
Mm-hmm.
isn't.
And of
And
course, shout out to Giants Opinion Sports and Luann in here. How y'all doing?
and it all goes back to Gettleman not drafting a lineman. Or well, screw all that because
Speaking of
I
linemen, let's talk about Matt Peart for a hot second.
oh
Everybody was
god.
asking to see him, and just before this game happened, we had the quotes from Rob Sale where he legitimately told us Nate Solder is better than Matt Peart. I'm be honest, from what we've seen, I'm like, yo, Nate Solder looked better than Matt Peart.
Yeah, yeah. And that's sad because Nick Solder
It's
isn't
trash.
is trash. It's trash. But
And I've been saying it for a while too in defense of Matt Peart, which is that he's the developmental player. Like he was a project dude, so it was
mm-hmm,
gonna take normal. It's gonna take, I mean, longer than normal development time. But
mm-hmm,
man, that still just hits me in a certain
mm-hmm.
type of way. It makes me lose confidence about him.
Yeah.
And of course,
Eh,
I appreciate the optimism from Luann saying, "Let's win these 4 games. The season ain't over yet. It's gonna be very difficult without Daniel because I'm
uh,
basically convinced that he's
nah,
gone for the season."
nah. At this point, I want us to lose out.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we can get a better draft pick. And now
Oh, so you want to tank?
and that yeah. And now I'm forced to cheer for the Jets to pick up some wins and of all that.
How does that help us?
Well, if the Jets keep winning and we keep losing, we'll come down to like number 4.
We're at 5 and 6
No,
right now. Listen, I'm not a tank guy. I obviously see where you're coming from. I don't know. I can't find it in myself to actually root for the team to lose games. You
well,
know what I'm saying?
hold up.
What I will say though
I will
is,
say this.
what I will say, Mike, is that because we have 2 picks, I hope that Chicago tanks.
Yeah, but and don't forget we have to play them.
And
And
honestly, at one
mhm,
point, Chicago looked like the only winnable game on the schedule. I'm not even that sure anymore, man. The injuries are
Chicago
too much. The
Chicago's
coaching is
gonna
just too bad.
Chicago's gonna smoke us.
Yeah.
But as I was saying earlier, I wish we would have drafted Micah Parsons
Oh man.
because because isn't it funny that all these rumors, nothing has happened.
Nothing has
So
happened. Listen, because I want to be consistent, and I truly do hold a consistent opinion on it. Let's not act as if NFL players can't cover stuff up, right? Like
yeah,
the example I
yeah,
always use is Big Ben, aka Big Rapist. Dude
yeah,
had multiple women accusing him of sexual
hmm,
assault and rape, and he still played in the NFL for his entire career with essentially
hmm,
no consequences.
yeah,
So it's not as though it's not impossible for him to cover it up. Now with Micah,
yeah,
it wasn't exactly rape as it was like very weird, possible
yeah,
assault type charges
yeah,
on him.
yeah,
So maybe it was easier to cover up, or maybe his teammates were like, "Ah, it wasn't that serious" or something. But I will say it's not as if they were illegitimate concerns about him. I feel like they were
hmm,
legitimate concerns, but I cannot deny he is crazy talented and the impact
hmm,
is ridiculous. 12 and a half sacks and there's still 4 games to go. And he's not just a
and
pass rusher.
and he's probably the second front runner for defensive player there.
Yeah,
Just
he's in the conversation, man.
that's crazy. That's
Hmm.
crazy. A rookie is like the second favorite for defensive player of the year.
Last time that happened was LT.
Yep, man. This team is just pathetic. Pathetic. Or or even if we
Oh,
didn't
this too,
take,
real quick. Nobody should forget about his 9/11 comments that he made on Instagram.
yeah, yeah,
Like, there are legitimate character concerns with this guy. Like,
yeah.
I, you know what I'm
That
saying?
that that was not cool. Was not cool.
Hmm.
But still, like I still would have drafted him.
Hmm.
But even if we didn't, we should have just stayed pat, stand pat, and took
I mean, like,
Rashawn
yeah, I was about to say, a
Slater.
couple people in the chat are saying not even Parsons. Slater was there too.
Yeah,
And I do agree,
who
Luann. We do need a great offensive coordinator.
and who by happen to facts be the best tackle in this draft.
Mm.
Mm,
He's
I
looked
don't.
really dominant. Do you think
I
Penei Sewell is suffering from Detroititis, like just playing for the Detroit Lions, or you think like Rashawn
well,
is just
well,
legitimately better?
well, I will say this: the Lions have played so bad, but Sewell has had a pretty good year. It's just that the Chargers are so good that Slater has stand out more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. He's also, of course, standing out more does come with being on a winning team. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Mike disconnected. While he tries to reconnect, um, Luan says, "Stop bashing the team. Look at all the injuries." I had a big rant about injuries for the first 5-6 minutes of this of the stream because there's always more than one things that go into the struggles of the team. Mike is back right now, but yeah, go ahead, man.
My bad. But yeah, anywho. So I mean, Slater has played better than Penny Sewell, but Sewell has done a really good job,
Yeah,
all things considered.
I can
But
agree with that.
yeah, man, it's just like Slater, I believe, has not allowed a sack at all this year.
For real, that's
I think
that's a crazy stat. Can anybody fact
I
check that? That's a crazy
I
stat.
think because I know a few weeks ago he hasn't allowed a sack. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if anything has changed ever since that, but
Mm-hmm.
but it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I hope to God that with one of our first round picks, it better be a lineman,
Mm-hmm.
offensive lineman.
Honestly, I'm definitely leaning towards both of them being O line, unless one of those top two edges are there, and a lot of things
Mm-hmm,
could change between now and April, so we'll see
mm-hmm,
what it goes.
mm-hmm. But
Yeah,
anyway,
Mike. Yeah, let me get your last thoughts before I pop Nate on here. Giants Opinion Sports, feel free to, man. Go ahead. But yeah, go ahead, Mike.
but it's always good talking to you, Hub. I can't wait for the off season content because you know me, I love the mock draft.
Mm-hmm.
I love the mock draft, and hopefully I can be on the panel when you do one.
Yeah, man. We did it a couple times last year where we had
Yeah,
you and other friends. Oh, it'll definitely be fun to do it again.
yep. But anyway, it was good talking to you, Hub,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll see you later. I'm sure we'll chop it up in Discord.
Yep. It is finals. I apologize. So just not even to you,
N-
just to the channel
Nah,
in
nah,
general. Two finals week going on right now.
it's all good. How they've gone?
Hey, my first one is this Wednesday. It's like a 3-day one. It's from Wednesday to Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have one on Thursday this week. I have one on the 20th, and I still have to learn where my fourth class one is happening. For some reason the
Mm-hmm.
professor hasn't posted the dates yet. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But anyway, good luck on them, Hub.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for calling in,
And
Mike. Have a good one.
you too, bro.
All right, next up, I see Giants Opinion Sports in here, man. I'm gonna get you in real quick, bro. Nate's been in here as well. Nate, you still in here? Is it cool if I bring on Giants Opinion for sports first? Let me see if he's still in here. I just need a yay or nay. I bet. Why ain't it clicking? But what up, Giants Opinion Sports? How
What's
you
up,
doing?
man? What's going on? Can you hear me fine? Am I audible?
I can hear you fine, man.
All right, man. Cool. I just figured I'd stop in because hey, I should pop in more. It's just I'm a very private person, if you know what I mean.
That's all right. I think this is what your second or third time calling in, and you're a
Yeah, I think
member,
it's
so
yeah. I called the first time, but if there's like more than 3 or 4 people on, like I talk, it's all laggy and stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, so that's why I don't pop on as much. But yeah, man, what's up?
What do you mean, what's up, bro? Is that a real question right
What's
now?
up? What's up?
That's not a real question.
Dude, what is going on with James Bradbury? Like, what happened?
I mean, we really can't say it's just him, right? It's definitely the result of just the entire defense. But like, what do you mean specifically? Like, I
Like
mean,
why? Like why? Like he maybe he's the worst cornerback on the team right now. That might be a little bit of exaggeration, but he's
I definitely say I'm way more pleased with Adoree Jackson's performance than Bradbury's this
yeah,
season.
yeah,
Like
he's a much
Adoree, I think
better
has been our
cover. Oh,
clear.
sorry.
Yeah, Adoree has definitely been our clear best corner this year, but like Bradbury's had a good stretch. You know what I'm saying? When the defense came to being good, because let's not forget the entire defense was kind of trash for like the first 6 weeks. When the defense came to being good, like he was locking down tight ends that we need to be locked down, and he was keeping up with number ones. But I don't know, the past couple weeks, it's not exactly like he stood out, but has he needed to stand out? You know, it's just really the offense that's been failing us.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the only time I can think of him even being good this year is when he was on tight ends. Every time he's been like put on the number one wide receiver, he's done horrible. Adoria has done much better. You know, maybe it's just I'm just starting to come to the conclusion that Bradbury is not good in man. He's a zone corner, and like you can put him in some matchups against bigger wide receivers, and he can do okay. And he also has nice hands. He can get in there and sneak on. You can sneak up a little bit on some players, but this year, I don't know if it's because we've seen a lot more man coverage. He's been awful. And the only thing that's like got me through it is watching Aaron Robinson come back off IR and actually be a competent football player.
And even though I agree with you, Aaron Robinson has looked better than I expected. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Does it necessarily excuse taking him over a lineman in the third?
Honestly, I don't know. There's more holes, I guess, in the team than I thought. And Darnay Holmes, I was feeling good about Darnay Holmes coming out last year, but take away them interceptions, and he has been kind of playing awful this year. So I think maybe the coach is sauce. I don't know. All I'm saying is if Aaron Robinson turns out to be a starting cornerback for 10 years on one side, are you looking back at 10 years ago and, damn, we still should have took that guard? I mean, if he hits,
I guess it's definitely, I guess it's still a little too early because we haven't even seen that much of Aaron Robinson. What I'll say, though, is because you mentioned that Darnay Holmes thing real quick, is the regression of him, or kind of regression of him, I guess you could call it. Another thing I got a major complaint about, I was talking about how our training staff and medical staff is really bad because of the fact that, we rush players back. At what point are we getting the training staff and a little bit, well, this coaching staff is still new, technically, it's 2 years old, but let's say the training staff, because players we draft don't really progress that much in general. They either stay where they are when they come right out of college, or, they decline, like you just said. What do you think about that? And what up, Lewis? It's all right, bro.
I don't know, but you mentioned on a training staff, and it brought something to mind. After 2017, when we had all them injuries, Mara had brought in a whole entire training staff. He fired everybody and brought in all new. So that was only 3 years ago. And what I've been griping about, and I see other fans talk about it, is this dang turf that they got to do something about. Sure. I get why they do it because they don't want to keep swapping out the grass all the time when Bruce Springsteen comes or shows up or whatever. But I mean, you got to do what's right for your players. Yeah, they can afford it, exactly. You don't cheap out on the one thing that's more important than anything is keeping your players healthy. To me, that's more important than anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Logan Ryan, James Bradbury, pissing me off. I want him out of here. I'm not gonna take him too much of your time, Hub. Let Nate talk.
That's all good, bro. That's all good. I do want to thank you for calling in, but like Logan Ryan, let's talk about Logan Ryan and Jabril Peppers real quick, because you brought up Logan Ryan, right? How do we move on from him? Can we just cut our losses and just eat the dead cap?
I don't think it's that much dead cap. I really think it'll only be like 3 or 4 million dead cap. It would have been not good if we would have cut him this year, but unless they've been shuffling the money back and pushing a lot more dead cap to the back. But last time I seen it, it was like a reasonable cut. You save like 6 million or something if you cut Logan. At this point, I mean, Julian Love is playing just as can fill in and be even better and more physical than Logan Ryan. So I don't see what the sense is keeping him again another year. Because when you need him to jump into that slot corner, you don't do it. And he's openly said in press conferences that he's not comfortable playing that role anymore. Then I just don't think there's a spot for him. Now that McKinney is playing the way he is,
McKinney's looking really good.
Yeah, I mean it's just Aaron Robinson and Xavier McKinney is the only things we got coming out of this. Because I was thinking it was top 5 secondary, and boy was I wrong. Every prediction I made about this team, I look like an idiot, man.
Man, listen, let's address Luann real quick, because Luann's a great subscriber, but she's saying the defense gave up, offense can't score, and they're tired of losing. I'm not. Are you blaming the defense for giving up though? Like if that's what you're saying, the defense, it's really like 2017,
we've seen games
a little bit like
too,
2020.
Hub, you got to admit, seen games like there's been games we've seen like the Falcons game, the Broncos game, where their defense has done itself no favors.
Exactly.
And then right before half, they can't right before half, first half, and then coming out, they let up long, grueling drives. That's on them. That's not on the offense. So, you can only beat that dead
100%.
horse so much. Some of this is on a defense too. And let's not forget, this defense played awful the first 5-6 weeks. They were as bad as anybody. And that's when our offense was at least competent before all the injuries
Yeah.
and coaching issues that we've had. This defense ruined the season before it even got a chance to get started. So I'm not going to sit on here and make excuses for them at all. They're horrible in my opinion. So, and I'm positive as hell, but defense is horrible this year. And the last couple of games, the effort I've seen it from, especially from the secondary players, is unacceptable. And you could take your $18 million ass out of New York. Hey, this ain't the place for you. You're going to come here with no effort, homeboy. See ya.
Exactly.
So that's my feeling on all of it. All right, man. I'll leave you to it.
Oh, no, I just want to say once again, thank you for calling in. But on the defense, yeah, like during those first 6 weeks where they were terrible, they did themselves no favor. So, yeah, I'd agree with you there. In recent weeks, though, where we have seen they've kind of hit their stride, I don't want to say they're blameless, but there's only so much they can do in terms of giving the offensive chances and the offense, not going in there and doing anything. I definitely agree with this, though. Especially last game, it looked like they had no juice, in my opinion, on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, effort was horrible. So, and that's something us Giants fans aren't going to tolerate because we've already been dealing enough losing. We're not going to sit here and watch you give no effort on the field.
Exactly.
All right, man. I'm going to go, though.
Bro.
Have a good night. I'll call back in a couple weeks or something.
A couple weeks. Okay.
Let's see how bad it can get. All right.
Next up, we got Nate Talk Sports. What up, Nate? How you doing, man? Guys, make sure you go over there, check out his channel. How you doing?
What's up, Kush? Oh my God, this every week I have to come on here.
I was on with you and the guys for like the first half. So
yeah,
I mean,
at least you survived.
You saw what was up there, man. I had to leave.
Yeah, that's why I was smart. Is I stayed there the whole game dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
This team is just garbage. I'm sorry for everyone who's in the chat watching this team, man. I apologize for my optimism. Actually, I don't see.
How much optimism did you have then?
I said 10 wins, which now I'm looking at. I'm like, how did I say 10 wins? I don't even, because this is what I thought it would be. I think the first half schedule, I knew it was hard. Like if you looked at it realistically, it was a hard schedule in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
This schedule, the second half, we were all optimistic because it was an easier schedule. It was more winnable for the Giants playing the Dolphins, playing some teams that we thought would be easier games to win.
What up, Joseph?
But of course, we went down with injuries early on. Galladay injury. The situation with Tony screwed us up. We had some terror. We didn't even have luck. Our team was just terrible. The coaching situations were terrible. Joe Judge is now back, which I'm not happy, but I'm not surprised.
Let's talk about that in particular for a second, right? Because I feel like you guys would know. You guys watched the channel, the videos, and you've watched the streams. I'm not happy with Joe Judge at all this season.
Yep.
And I've called him out essentially since week 1. Like if you look at my week 1 reaction video, a good amount of it is just me calling out Joe Judge, and same with like the early weeks, right? Well, what I will say is there's a lot of problems on this team that's like not his fault, right? Like the injuries, of course, is the main ones to come to mind. He can't necessarily control how these players are getting injured or whatnot, and I don't buy into the running laps is causing injuries because it's not like they're having soft tissue injuries or anything. They're tearing ACLs.
Yes,
they're getting sprained ankles. Like Saquon's injury is not because he ran a lap; it's because he wasn't looking where he's walking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Kenny Galladay rip thing wasn't because he was running laps. It's because the player, in my opinion, that should have been a flag or something. It was a cheap shot, pushed him out of bounds and stuff like that. Like he can't control the injuries. One, and then there's also the situation of the offensive line where he has a say in who they bring in, but that was ultimately up to the GM to try and fix that, and it wasn't fixed, right? So there are things out of his control, which is why I'm like, I'm not mad that he's come back for a third year. I feel like I don't know if deserves is the right word, Nate. You might have to help me out to find a correct word, but he should have a shot.
Yeah, I would say that
he should
have like a good. I would say like at least a decent shot. Like it's not like because listen, his coaching decisions are terrible. Like we know his timeout situations.
With all I just said defending him, there's still things here that make him a really bad head coach. It's at least for this year.
Did the first year he looked like a better first year coach than he looked like a second year coach. Like he was making decently. Listen, he still make mistakes in the first year. It's a rookie coach, not as bad as this year. This year he just became terrible. Like this situation.
And real quick to back up the point I was making earlier about stuff that's out of his control, specifically injuries, I'm gonna read off to you the most prominent. This is not this is just the most prominent Giants injuries that happened this year. All right, and this was like in no particular order, but Shane Lemieux was out for the season. Nick Gates was out for the season. Andrew Thomas was out for 4 games. Daniel Jones basically is going to be out for the season now, in my opinion. Barkley was out for 4 games. Galladay was out for 3 games. Shepard is out for 7 games. Ingram was out for 2 games. Tony was out for 4 games. Ross was out for 3 games. Martinez was out for the season. Leo was out for the season as of right now. Adoree Jackson was out for 2 games. Like, bro, every single player listed there is a starter.
And now Leo's going to be out for the season. He's not going to be out for the season.
Yeah, so, shout out to Miz in the building. Miz, definitely need your thoughts on him, man.
But also, this is I like the tank game? Do I like tanking? No, because I want to win, but I would rather get higher draft picks right now than win these games, man, because we're probably going to lose. I expect us to just win 1 game. And that game's the Bears game. That's the only game I actually decently have confidence winning. Because even the Bears actually fought yesterday and actually tried to win the game. But, of course, we are in a situation where we don't have a good offense. We don't even have a good offense in general. Our offense is just we're going to probably – I said this. I think we're going to promote – and I've been saying this for months – promote Russ Callaway.
Promotes Russ. What has it's difficult to ask this. I don't think any of us has a question, but like, how much has he impacted? Our passing game's been trash. Isn't he the passing game coordinator?
I think they said he's like 0-1, which is probably he's not in. He's just probably just learning under these guys because they've been saying offensive play caller like 1, offensive play caller 2. Like they didn't name the offensive coordinator until like now, which they gave it to Kitchens, which they mean calling these guys play caller 1, play caller 2. And practice, like it's
honestly that sounds ridiculous.
It sounds stupid. Like it's like name the play caller and then move on. Like and probably everyone knows that Kitchens is probably the play caller. Like he was the only option if we were gonna go offensive coordinator, but in the in-house. So I think Judge is probably gonna hire someone in-house because I think we're gonna do if the 1-year thing works, you keep everyone again until it basically fails. So I think we hire Russ Callaway, get a young guy in there who actually is new to the new league, not this old league, which our playbook is just run slants, curl routes, like do something innovative. Don't do these like wheel routes where it's just throwing back to the quarterback, throw back to the receiver, and the receiver throw the ball. Like it's so predictable.
Oh no! I thought you were gonna continue going. No, I completely agree with you. But where did you see the Russ Callaway like offense coordinator 1 or play caller 1 or something like that? Do you remember where you saw that?
It was like he said it like everyone was talking about like a few weeks ago where they didn't name the play caller. Like Judge was like,
yeah, go ahead.
Like it was like they were saying like Russ Callaway is like an offensive coordinator in this situation. It's like, what does that mean? Like
because when he came here, like I'm pretty sure his like unofficial job was like passing game coordinator or something like, or like offensive assistant or something along that lines.
Yes, it was. I like the hire because it's at least someone we at least have someone new to the league and at least someone who could give us some new innovative plays. I like that part of it. Yeah, but I'm like, there's no experience in the NFL.
He was part of that legendary LSU offense. But that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
hey, but maybe he does pay off if he is the guy that they promote. I don't know.
Yeah, I said in-house we hire him, and I've been saying this too. I see a situation where they fire Patrick Graham.
Why do you say that?
I see a situation where they just say screw everyone. We're gonna get some Judge. I think Judge can make a stand and say this. I want us to just get. I think he could say rebuild, and he could
Why
just
would
say
he get rid of like the guy he's closest with on the coaching staff that he
Yeah, that's
asked
what
to leave Brian
No,
Flores to come
I mean
down?
like this. You say I just see a situation where they just fire the play callers and then just start new. I because you need to stick to one play.
You gotta explain to me how you're seeing that, because that would be like the worst move possible.
Yeah,
You
that's
fire everybody that the coach hired, but keep the coach.
yeah, because I think if the GM and the head coach, if they say we like this guy, keep this guy, and then they just because I'm tired, just stick to
But
one.
the thing is, we know Gelman is basically gone. It's almost been confirmed that
Yes.
he's gonna retire at the end of the season.
I just want to stick with one like pass coverage. I don't want to switch the 3-4-4-3, 3-4-4-3. It's like stick to one thing and then keep it for like the season. Don't just switch it back and forth.
Has our defense been? But like, I would agree with you if our defense wasn't effective. And the one thing I hate about our defense, I guess the thing I hate the most about our defense is that it seems it has to take a couple weeks or at
Yes,
least a month
that's-
before it hits its stride. But when it hits its stride,
It's
yo,
the- yeah.
if we have an average offense, Nate, this is a top 5 defense because of how
Yeah,
much just an
I-
average offense would help it out.
Yeah, I just don't like the unpredictability. That's why I just don't. I just want a consistent defense. I want a defense that we say every time, stop. We're not gonna stop. I trust this defense every time. I trust it before half. I trust this before any situation. The offense needs a turnover. I trust these cornerbacks.
Yeah.
'Cause right now, I don't trust any quarterback right now in this team.
Mm-hmm.
The only guy I trust in the secondary is McKinney. That's the only guy I trust to get us a turnover.
What up, CJ? Yo, CJ, hit that link. Call in. But the paint stream is always the day after. The call-in stream, if I have time, is usually Tuesday. They're both call-in streams, but the paint stream is the paint stream. You know what I'm saying?
Mainstreams.
Yeah. Joseph, shout out to Joseph. Definitely would like to hear you as well. He says the Saints game was what we expected this whole season to be, and the Saints game was when everybody was most healthy as well. I agree. I guess the
Yes.
Saints game was the peak of our season.
Yes,
I think we
Joseph.
all could say.
Volby knows me too well, and I say this all the time. Just that Saints game was so we were so happy. Like we beat the Saints, but now we look at the Saints like we beat that team. The team that just fell off, and I think the Saints they have a great coach. I'm not dissing Sean Payton at all. Sean Payton's a great coach, but it's like saying this: if the Giants' offense did this score at least 27 points, I think we at least have 3 more wins. We win some of these games.
You said at least 27 points.
Average gives 27 because we could beat the Falcons.
Yeah, let me hear which games you're talking about or thinking
We
about.
beat the Falcons. And if we at least score 27, we beat the Chiefs. We beat the Chiefs. We beat the Chiefs by 7. We beat the Chiefs more than 7. I think we could beat the Dolphins. That's the 3 wins. We get 3 wins off of those. That gets us 3 wins extra, and at least we could have a contention about the playoffs right now.
You're saying Falcons, Raiders, and Dolphins?
We beat the Raiders. I'm saying
Falcons, Chiefs, and Dolphins. You said.
Dolphins. That's 3. That's 3 we could have won, but of course we
Okay.
can't score in the red zone, and of course we can't make anything competitive. So that's that. But the defense just needs something on offense right now. It's like they're so disappointing, man. In this offense, like they can't even score more than 3.
Yeah. I mean, well, what are we averaging? Before we scored 21 against the Chargers, which was like all garbage time, I think we were averaging 11 points a game under Kitchens, which is terrible. But once again, there's a lot of injuries that needs to go into it as well. Sober Party says, I want Judge to be the new GM. I don't know about that, bro.
Hell no.
I don't. It's not even because we've had good drafts with him here. It's just more so I don't trust him fully to be the head coach, so I'm not sure if I would even trust him fully to be both of those. Like, nah, I'm not doing that in my
do
opinion.
the year thing. I think we're gonna promote Abrams. That's what I'm going by now because we are gonna keep Judge.
Yeah,
They're
if they
probably
keep
gonna go in-house.
Judge, oh man, because that would be one way
just
to
see it,
kind of
man.
avoid the cycle. That would be one way to avoid the cycle, because then if it doesn't work out, you get rid of both Abrams and Judge. But
It just sees
it's messy. It's just very messy.
Yes, I just think it's gonna happen. Because
Yeah.
if they're gonna keep Judge, what was the point of going out of house, not getting any continuity, and then now you're just gonna bring more? Now you're gonna let the GMA hate Judge, and now they just meet conflict between both people. So the Giants, well, they're probably gonna go in house. They're gonna go in house.
What up, Bubs, Ligma, Jamar, and Jim in here? Luan, everybody agrees the offensive
Yeah, the
coordinator
offense
position
coordinator.
has been a problem. I don't think nobody's disagreeing with that. Bub says, if I'm the GM, I'm firing Judge at the end of the season. He's not fit for a head coach position. He's not an offensive or defensive mind. His philosophy is trash. I agree. His philosophy
I
is
agree.
trash. But we
100%.
already know the GM is gone, so Judge is staying, and that's also all been but confirmed that Judge is staying.
Yep,
yeah.
it was. I think it was confirmed. I think they were confirming it's like week 12. They've been talking about it, and then now you see the original reports about Mara just says he loves him, which is kind of weird. But moving on.
Well, I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. Like when you first called in, right? There's a lot of things out of his control with the injuries and with the offensive line specifically, and that's been. Let's be honest. The reason this season has been a failure has been those two reasons: the offensive line and the injuries.
Yes,
that's why the season has been a failure, and those things were both, out of his control.
Yeah, and I think the Judge situation too. It's kind of weird saying that Judge has decreased.
Yeah,
like it's like the season last season we weren't even expected to do anything. Like we were just saying, yeah, we're a tank, let's tank. But now we've lost more games.
Let me stop you right there, though, Nick, because I gotta ask you, right? We've had 2 years of Judge. The first year, the man overachieved. We can all agree.
Yeah.
Overachieved with a roster that wasn't supposed to do much. The second year, with a roster that was supposed to do much, he underachieved. So which one of the two Judges is the real Judge? I feel like that's another reason he should get the third year, too.
Yeah. No, it's not. I'm saying he gets the third year. I'm just saying it's just, how does he decrease with a better roster and a better situation?
The injuries, right?
Yeah, I think it's the injuries, and also it's like
I think it's the injuries. I think it's the coordinator, both the offensive and defensive coordinators.
Yeah.
They failed a lot this year.
I just don't like this, man. I don't want to be I don't want us to go off and now it's hail. If we lose another season, I'm firing Judge. Like I'm done.
Oh no, I'm right there with you, bro. This third year is it, or 2022. That's it.
What Ash said, which shout out to Ash Money, but Ash is, I don't trust Joe Judge in any draft anymore. I don't even trust this guy. Like, please, whoever the GM is, it's just please have a good draft. Like, give us some offensive linemen, and if we draft a quarterback, would I be mad?
No, I don't want. I would be mad if we draft a quarterback.
Yes,
because guess what? If we draft a quarterback, in my opinion, it's 2019 Daniel Jones all over again. Because we forced the pick then, and don't draft one now. You're going to be forcing the pick now.
Yes.
Get the offensive line done. Get an edge rusher, and then get a QB in the next draft.
Yes. I agree.
But Nate, let me get your last thoughts before I pop DJ on here, man.
But yeah, I feel bad for this. I feel bad for this fan base, guys. I'm sorry for all of you guys, man, in the chat. Like, we all now have to wish on December 13th, 2021. We're talking about the draft. This organization has failed us so much high expectations, and we had just failed.
Yeah. Listen, man, it is what it is. Nate, thank you for calling in, man. Guys, make sure you check him out.
Yeah.
Peace, bro.
All right, peace.
Next up, we got DJ. What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
What's going on? Yeah. All right, my poor bro. What's going on?
I'm good.
Chilling.
Nah, man. I don't even know if that's a real question, bro. We all suffering right now.
Listen, man. All right, so where I start? All right, first of all, get him in. Obviously,
reports been out that he's gonna retire at the end of the season.
Word, yeah, son. So that's great news for that, man. I can go on and on about Dave Gettleman and rent him and rent him basically and stuff like that, but whatever. Joe Judge. All right, so yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm ready to clean house, bro. I ain't going front with you, bro. I'm ready to clean house.
I don't blame you for feeling that way. I don't blame you.
We got a clean house, bro. We cannot bring nobody back. You know what I'm saying, bro? Go get a new head coach, new DC, new GM outside of organization. Like, We gotta like move on and shit. But here's the thing, though, right? I will not bring Jones back. I know a lot of Giant fans is not gonna want to hear that right now, but I will not bring Jones back. I will try to see if I get a deal that the just got for Sam Darnold and see can we get that same deal. And I will like take the picks with that in the draft and be able to do that. And what I will do is sign a stopgap quarterback like a Bridgewater, a Baker Mayfield.
Here's the thing. Believe it or not, Daniel Jones in his 4th year of that contract will be cheaper than a stopgap quarterback. So you could. What I've been saying is you could use him as a stopgap because he's cheaper. Just use him as the stopgap quarterback.
That's the thing, though, right? Because listen, I don't think next year he's gonna do good. Honestly, I don't think he's gonna be like we think he's gonna be. Feel me?
And by the way, that all depends on even if he plays football again, because a lot of people are forgetting Judge put this man's life at risk with the structural neck damage.
Yeah,
Exactly. So it's really the jury is still out on how serious that is and like if he's gonna come back and stuff like that, right? But DJ, let me tell you real quick what like my ideal situation would be. And the thing is, this works out for both sides. This works out for people that want Daniel Jones gone, and it works out for the people that like want to see him again, right?
Right.
If we keep him the 4th year, like I was saying, because that 4th year, the contract is not really that much, it's the perfect stopgap quarterback. You don't need to go out and sign somebody else that potentially would cost more. Like Teddy Bridgewater is going to cost like more than $10 million a year, bro, because he's a really good stopgap quarterback. And if you're not getting a guy on Teddy Bridgewater's level, like honestly, who's out there? Who are you going to get?
I would
like
say
Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Derek Carr. I would say Derek Carr.
Derek Carr is not a stopback quarterback, but Derek Carr is a franchise quarterback. Let's not play. Let's not play.
Baker.
Derek Carr is a franchise quarterback.
Would you take Baker next year?
Why do people think the Browns are letting go of Baker Mayfield?
Ever
since Baker Mayfield got there, tell me not. Ever since Baker Mayfield got there in 2018, the Browns have not been the Browns. They've been a winning team.
Maybe him, maybe Matt Ryan, but Matt Ryan's old.
Let me finish the thought though, right?
Go ahead.
So it gives DJ a chance. I feel like it's fair to everybody because it gives him a chance. Like I personally don't see it, but if he has something in him, bro, you got another chance. You go do it. But if he doesn't, once again, he's the stopback quarterback. He's that bridge quarterback for whoever is going to be his replacement the next year. And because we keep him, we could do what this team really needs, in my opinion, and that's get some draft picks on the offensive line.
Right.
Because Andrew Thomas is the only good player on there right now.
Right, he's a good line.
And then get an edge rusher. And both of those this draft is really good for. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, man.
And let's be honest, this quarterback class is...
I will be this. I like now. The only quarterback I would draft personally is Kenny Pickett. I like Kenny Pickett a lot. I really do. He has raw talent, stuff like that. Now I don't want to do what Gettleman did 2-3 years ago,
and that's forced to pick.
Because I believe personally, here's how my thinking was, right? Because I've been debating about Gettleman for the longest time. I knew he's going to fail with the Giants. The minute he got here, I never wanted him. I never ever wanted that guy to even like be the franchise GM of my team. And I knew we got Daniel Jones. I knew we effed up, bro. I'm gonna say like that. I ain't gonna curse. I just knew we effed up. Period. Like we like I already knew we effed up completely because number one, we didn't have the team right around him. Right. Number two, we could have waited. Well, who do you think we can get? Jones is a good quarterback. Look at his first year. I mean, his first year to me is looking like it's a fluke.
What I will say is that like
it's a fluke, though. I would say
here's why I disagree with that because I think he's good in Shermer's system. That's not act as if Jason Garrett isn't a trash offensive coordinator, bro. Like Jason Garrett is a terrible offensive coordinator.
He's good in his system. It's what I believe in, right? In a West Coast offense, I don't think he's good. Like you could put him in any system and he'll dominate. No, I don't believe that. Now, 2023. Now, here's what I say this, right? I'm gonna go with y'all logic though. Find a quarterback with Josh Allen arm. Correct. Josh Allen arm is amazing. Mayfield ain't going nowhere. I can see that. Pickett could compete with Jones. bro, Pickett will win the starting job over Jones. Let's be real. I would say this, man. I don't want us to do what we did in 19 because number one, Jones should never have been the pick. Josh Allen should have been the pick. I go down with saying that. I believe we should have had Eli Manning play the whole year. I believe that. And I believe that the Giants, call me crazy, should have tanked for Herbert. I truly believe that if
the amount of Herbert was supposed to be our QB, but he stayed that extra year.
19, right? He stayed out the Oregon to play with his brother.
His brother.
Yeah. So I look back like yesterday's game was so much painful for me. I didn't even care about us playing. I just cared about watching Justin Herbert yesterday. Like, if there was anything, any entertainment I was gonna get out of that game, it's watch number 10 on the Chargers go to work. That's it. Because I knew we was not gonna beat him yesterday. Like, I already knew he's gonna put up like 40 points, 37 points in that game. It was gonna be a blowout. But here's how I feel, man. I want that special guy. Now, there's options like Deshaun Watson out there. There's options like Russell Wilson. Even though Russell Wilson to me wants to be a Giant, and I love Russell Wilson, but I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks for Russell.
I don't
Wilson
think
next
the
year.
thing with a dude like Russell Wilson is that he's expensive, both in the cap space and to get him is going to be very expensive.
Yeah.
So that I don't know if we could build a winning team around him.
You're gonna have to pay a lot to get him over here, man. Like, you're gonna have to pay him a lot, man. But honestly, man, listen, man, offensive line has to get better. I believe in run blocking. They need to get better at pass blocking. They have been okay with that this year. I think
pass blocking has been hit and miss.
It's been hit and miss. Run blocking is the biggest issue because we cannot run the ball effectively whatsoever. So I believe that we should get O-line help. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't want Jones back, man, but a part of me feel like he just might come back because we have no choice but to bring him back next year. Now, here's the thing: the GM, these are gonna pull people. I mean, listen, maybe, man, maybe.
Listen, maybe if he, and that's what I'm saying. With my plan, I feel like it satisfies everybody. Because guess what? Maybe if we get 2 stud offensive linemen here, and that makes it 3 stud O linemen out of 5 on our line, maybe DJ starts doing something because he has protection.
How good is he, though? How good is he?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it really depends, DJ. Real quick, DJ. I think it really depends. Going back to what I was saying, on who in the world our offensive coordinator is going to be in 2022.
I believe
we don't know that yet.
Let me ask you a question: is he good with Brian Dable?
I think he can be. Actually, I do think he can be. I think, bro, Brian Dable. You know why? Because it's more Brian Dable than DJ. Brian Dable is one of the best offensive coordinators in the league, bro. I feel like he could work something.
I can see him. All right, Brian Dable with Daniel Jones. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would actually want to see that a little bit, not by much.
But the question is, would Brian Dable want to come here, bro?
He's not Josh Allen, but
DJ, would Brian Dable want to come here? Like, that's the real question.
Nah, he wouldn't want to come.
Wants to come here?
He wouldn't want to come here. I'm hoping him or Brian Leftwich, but I don't know if Brian Leftwich want to leave Bruce Arians and Tom Brady in that team in Tampa to come coach the Giants. They lost 4 linemen to injury. No idea how healthy the line would have run block.
Yeah, remember in those first 2 weeks, 4 of our linemen went out.
Too, man. Here's how I feel though, man. The coaching gotta go. The GM gotta go. If the GM was his own quarterback, I'm not gonna scream because we got Kenny Pickett. I'm gonna be all right, cool. If Kenny Pickett's the guy, cool, whatever. For me, let's go. But here's how I feel, man. I'm sure it's more for me. It's about coaching, because who's the coach next year going to be for the Giants is going to be the key to success down the road, right? Because I will be excited, if we get Brian Dable. If we get Brian Dable in here, I'll be like, yes, thank you. We got a good play caller, and I know he's going to make this offense look good. Like, I have a feeling he's going to be I have a feeling I have a feeling that Brian Dable might be that Sean McVay of the Giants. Meaning like he's going to take us to another level. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I just believe that, man. And maybe some Giant fans feel like maybe if Jones had a Brian Dable or Sean McVay, he'll look much better
And
right
a
now.
lot and a
Right.
better line.
In a better line, like he'll look much comfortable, much better. You know what I'm saying?
Because
just think
let's look at
it's
Josh
mental.
Allen, right?
It's mental.
Let's look at Josh
Mhm.
Allen though, right? Like
Right.
the quarterback everybody wanted Daniel to be because everybody was talking about, oh, look at Josh
Right.
Allen when he
They
got
want to be
Diggs.
Josh Allen.
Guess what? Josh Allen has a way better O line, and he actually has the Brian Dable. He has a great offensive coordinator. That does, it does play
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, he has to go to he has to go line. He has to go play caller, and they and obviously Stephon Diggs helps out tremendously because he's the top 5 wide receiver in the league. But
Yeah.
still, like his development, if it wasn't for Brian Dable, Josh Allen probably wouldn't be Josh Allen right now. Honestly, if it wasn't for him, so I would say him. I would say Brian Leftwich. I don't want a defensive coordinator being our head coach. I'm off that personally. We need an offensive coordinator that can be our head coach, the play caller that knows how to use our players to our strengths. Not this Joe Judge crap. I'm talking about a guy that knows how to get guys open, that knows how to scheme players up.
I'm glad you brought it up because that goes back to the offense coordinator, right? One of the, in my opinion, the biggest reasons Jason Garrett was such a bad offensive coordinator, bro. How many times did we throw the ball to Kenny Galladay? How many times did we target him in the end zone?
Not a lot of times, Hub. Not a lot of times.
How many times did we target John Ross down the field?
Not a lot of times. Not a lot of times.
Come on.
I would even take the guy, Joe Lombardi, the guy we saw yesterday. I'll even take him as the next head coach because I think him and Herbert, they know how to mesh together, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Like you give me a good play caller that knows how to use our plays with gun. I just think that what's gonna worry me about the new play caller is can he lead men? So
Wait,
like
I want to say, you said we saw Joe Lombardi yesterday?
The offensive coordinator for the Chargers. He was Herbert.
Oh, I thought you meant like the Giants had a meeting with him. I was like, hold up.
Joe Lombardi is
I would love him, yeah.
the coordinator for Herbert team, the Chargers. Yeah. He's a phenomenal play caller too. But yeah, man. Like, listen, I'll even take somebody from King's Clipberry coaching staff too. What it got over there in Arizona, and for GM wise, bro, give me somebody from the Steelers, the Colts, the
I
Niners.
think we could both agree that I don't want Louis Riddick, right? We don't want Louis Riddick.
Nah, I don't want Louis Riddick.
A lot of people want him for some reason.
We need to get a guy. Matter of fact, we need Ed Dobbs from the Colts. The Colts team. I looked at the roster the other day, and their roster is nice, man. We need a roster. We need a GM that knows how to draft players, right? That knows how to draft. Know what I mean? Like, I do not want to bring Judge back. No. Daniel, I'm 50-50.
No, he's back. He's back. It's almost confirmed that he's back.
Oh, Judge coming back?
Yeah. All the reports are saying that he's back.
Wow.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's a terrible thing because, like, we've already been talking about all the injuries, right? There's certain things that's out of his control, and he's been, in my opinion, a bad head coach this year because his time management is trash. His philosophy is really bad. He's too conservative. I'm tired of punting on 4th and 2s when we're inside the enemy territory, right? So I'm not saying that he's necessarily a good coach,
but Joe Judge.
But there are a lot. There is a lot of stuff that was out of his control, right? And real quick to close it off, at the very least, at least Mara is keeping to his word. If we all remember what he said when we fired Pat Shurmur, he said, "I'm going to give the next head coach, more years than Pat Shurmur." If he were to go back on that word, a lot of people don't realize this. Can we ever trust him to just do anything that he says he's going to do again? Because let's say he did fire Judge. I'm not trusting him with any head coach in the future in terms of their job security. You know what I mean?
That's true, man. I wouldn't bring him back. Because I know this. You bring him back, you bring Jones back, what's going to change?
The offensive
Nothing.
coordinator, hopefully. I
Nothing.
don't know. I
That-
hope the offensive
that-
coordinator change.
But him being aggressive, going for it on fourth downs, being more of that. Come on, like
That's
to me, man,
that's where I'm gonna need.
to
That's
me,
where I'm gonna
to
need
me, to
either
me- to
whatever
me,
new
I would
offensive
bring it back.
listen, whatever new offensive coordinator comes in, I'm gonna need him to actually let them just handle the offense. I'm gonna need him to just back off of the offensive side of the football and let the offensive coordinator do the job. And
Yo,
if that doesn't happen, then guess what? We out. That's
man.
it. We're out.
He's gonna hire a guy from the Patriots, man, and nah, man.
Well, remember, he
I'm
did want
not-
Brian Dable. He wanted to hire Brian Dable. Let's not forget this. He was looking at
Brian
Brian Dable.
Dable is not gonna make a lateral move from all.
No,
from
but I'm talking
Dable.
about in 2020 when
Giants.
Judge was hired, right? In 2020 when Judge
saying,
was
though,
hired, he was
right,
looking to hire
exactly.
Brian Dable, and then Jason
I'll make
Garrett.
Brian Dable the head
happened.
coach. No. My deal was to make Dable the new head coach for the Giants. That was my thing. I will fire Joe. Listen, man, I'm gonna clean house. Like I will clean house, man. I personally want to clean house. I'm tired of this. You keep one guy, then we fire the other. No, man.
Oh, I'm tired of that as well.
No.
That's why
no.
I'm like,
We have to
yo, man, listen.
Oh, we got to clean house.
That's why I'm
gotta
like,
clean
they
house.
need to be a package deal.
gotta
That
clean house.
Judge and Gettleman needs to be a
package
package
They
deal.
both gotta go. Yeah. They
Even it's
both gotta
unfair.
go.
I'll be the first person to say, yeah, it's unfair because Gettleman has been here longer. So, and Judge has been here
man.
shorter, but we're gonna fall into this cycle that I'm scared of falling into that the Jets had.
Oh, they gotta go. They gotta go, Frankie. They gotta go, man. Like, in order for it to work, we need a proven offensive coordinator and just has to toss his philosophy to the side.
That's what I'm hoping happens.
I agree, but I don't think personally that's gonna happen though, because again, he had to change it. What had he changed? Freddie Jason Garrett got fired. Freddie Kitchen got in. He's not even aggressive. He's punting the ball a lot. He's telling his defense to play more. Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, like, listen, this offseason hub is gonna be a busy offseason for the Giants, man. Because we're not going to playoffs, obviously. We're gonna have our fifth losing season again. Dave Gettleman will be gone. I cannot wait to rant on him when he gets fired on your show in January. I cannot wait for that to actually happen because that show is going to be a legendary show for Giants Twitter and Giants fans. Because honestly, it's going to be a Giants party next month when he gets fired. All the things I'm going to say about him and all the picks he messed up and his philosophy of God and stuff like that and all the picks he missed on, he put this team down to the bottom. And I hope the next manager could come in here and try to fix something because it's not going to be easy. I expect us next year to suck. Next year, if we do clean house because the new GM is probably going to want his own quarterback. That's why I'll be cool with Kenny Pickett. You know what I'm saying, man? But I just hope that we can build the trenches. You know what I mean? I hope that we can get that pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather have a rookie quarterback, honestly, or a stopgap than Russell Wilson. I would love Russell Wilson too, but Russell Wilson is gonna cost too much money and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? But right now for me, man, it's the pass rusher and the line. You know what I'm saying? And Brian Dable needs to be a Giant like soon. Like soon. Gotta try to get him there or Joe Lombardi, man. And but GM, man, hopefully it's Ed Dobbs, is a guy from Pittsburgh or Baltimore, or let's see another good team. Probably the Pack. I don't know about the Packers, man. I don't know about the Packers, but like somebody, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that has a good philosophy. The Bills GM, the Bills staff. I'll even take them. Like somebody that has a good roster in the league that I'll bring it in here and try to philosophize and try to copycat their roster, stuff like that, because this is a copycat lead hub. So, you know, the ones that have the one that have the great rosters, it's most likely gonna make us great too down the road because they have the same philosophy and same thinking and stuff like that. So, but yo, Hub, listen, man, it was great talking to you, bro. I'll probably be back with you probably next week. You have a show again after the Cowboys, right?
It will be after the Cowboys. Yep.
Yeah, which a game that I'm not expecting. I mean, this season is a loss, anyways, bro. So I don't expect us to win or stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying, man? But yo, man, listen, go Giants, man. I'm just ready for the off season to get here, draft to get here, man, and see how we gonna change this team from the bottom. Because right now we are the Browns in the dumpster fire right now. We are the Browns in the past right now. That's what we
Yeah.
are right now, bro. Like, sad, man. But listen, man, we here for the bad days. We'll be here for the good days, bro. My day, though,
Mhm.
brother.
Hey,
Peace,
DJ, have a good one, man. Thank you for calling in,
You too,
bro.
bro.
Yo, let's see. Shots, everybody. It's in here, Luann. Call in. Call in. Let us hear you say something. Miz is in here as well. I feel like I've been saying the same thing over and over, and it's like I'm not necessarily calling for Judge's job, calling for anybody's job really, as I am just like resigned to the fact that there's so many problems here, and I just know somebody's gonna take the fall for it. So there's nothing you can do to change that. At the end of the day, you're just a fan watching and observing the team, right? So I mean, to just I guess reiterate my thoughts, there's a lot of stuff that was out of Judge's control. And because of that, the team has severely underperformed and looked really, really bad. The team has looked like trash this year. And Judge has also made a lot of mistakes this year. However, because of the fact that there was just so much that went wrong that he couldn't control, dealing with the injuries specifically, I'm just like, I don't know if that's a good enough reason to fire him. I'm gonna be honest with you. This team is looking bad, and the team is not what he said he was, yes. But when we look at the fact that we got third-string offensive linemen out there, we look at the fact that we do have injuries on defense that people seem to want to ignore, so we have backup players playing out there. It does make it, you do understand why the performance is a certain way, and I'm not asking any of y'all to be happy with it. I'm just saying, just give him the third year. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I am not a Joe Judge believer at this point. I'm really not a Joe Judge believer at this point, right? But I feel like we do need to see the third year, and for the very least, because of the fact that we're gonna be stuck with this roster next year anyway. Do not have this gigantic baggage be the roster of the next head coach. I feel like that would be a mistake as well. You know what I mean? Real quick, shout out to Tudo Zuri for the $5 super chat. He says, Salute, Kush. I appreciate it. Tudo, man, always tuning in all the way from Italy, man. Says, drop by our office to pay our proper respects, and for Giants Nation, we slap all slimy, stinky Eagles fans, losers out of the doors. Appreciate it, man. Jamar, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, Hub, man? How you doing?
I'm okay.
I want to get back to the Gettleman part.
Go ahead.
I do understand, like, he did hit on like the first two rounds, and like he's lucky to hit on the third sometimes. But like, I feel like he didn't have to get rid of like some of like Jerry Reese's picks, because I felt like we would be balling with all of the rest of Jerry Reese's picks, and he would just focus on the O line. In my opinion.
Can you tell me which one specifically?
Like if you would have kept like Jack Rabbit or what's his name, JPP, I feel like we kept him, we would have franchise tagged Landon Collins, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or we would have drafted.
I just want to talk on JPP real quick though, right?
Yeah.
I don't think, because people forget, at the time we traded him, JPP could not play 3-4 outside linebacker. He can now, but it took him 2 years to get good. It wasn't until 2019 that he had a career resurgence, and we traded him all the way back in 2017. So it took him time, right? And of course, I think we were paying JPP a good amount of money as well. But also, let's be real, James Bretcher is a bad defensive coordinator. I don't think JPP is making that same leap or same adjustment he did with Tampa Bay that has a way better defense coordinator under James Bretcher, right? Like, can you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I can agree with that on that.
So I'll say that to the JPP one.
Well, yeah, but I just feel like he will be better with us, like.
Mm-hmm.
And I know y'all understand. I understand why people like Patrick Graham, but I'm not all that to Patrick Graham at all. I I shouldn't feel like we had to wait like months for our defense to start kicking.
I agree with you. I think it's absolutely unacceptable that it would take 4 to 6 weeks for our defense to start looking good. You can't go into a season and your defense be a liability for the first month of the season. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, exactly. And we was rolling, we was popping, and we got like we was doing really well on offense at the time, and then everybody started getting
if we
injured.
had that defense in the first 6 weeks when the offense was looking at least competent for like the first 4 or 5,
Yeah,
maybe we
we
were
would
looking at more wins.
Yeah, we would actually put up points against the Dallas Cowboys, which I really hate. We would have beaten Washington with no problem.
Mhm.
But my thing is like I really don't trust like how can I say? I would say like if we never had gotten Jason Garrett, who do we had our offensive coordinator the last time before Jason Garrett?
Our offensive coordinator Mike Shula, right? Our
Yeah,
offensive coordinator, but the guy that was running the offense was Pat Shermer, the head coach.
right.
Real quick, let me get this super chat. Shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. He says all bad owners hire more GMs, bad GMs hire more head coaches, bad head coaches bringing in garbage players who lose every game. The results are undeniable. Well, I'll say this: I've been saying Mara's been a problem for the longest, but we can't. There's nothing we can do to change.
Yeah,
that,
there's nothing we can do with that.
Yeah.
I would love if we can get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
What else am I going to talk about? I would say like if we get rid of like Patrick Graham, who you think we'll bring in for defense coordinator?
I don't know. I really can't answer that question, man. Because you could ask me the same question with head coach and GM, and I wouldn't have an answer because I haven't put my mind to trying to think of replacements. So I don't have an answer, unfortunately.
Okay.
What about you?
But,
Do you have anybody in mind?
I can see bringing back Joe Harborough. Was it John Harborough?
He's not gonna come here for a coordinator job. He will come here for a head coaching job.
Well, then again, I mean, he'd be coaching that defense back with Baltimore though, if I remember.
Bro, he was the head coach.
Okay,
No, he
then
was the head coach for the 49ers.
Okay, I don't remember then. I don't remember then. I'm young.
I'm pretty sure you're talking about Harbaugh in Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the head coach of the 49ers.
Okay. I thought it was Baltimore. I'm sorry.
That's his brother. His brother's still there.
Okay.
You still there? Yep. If you can hear me, man, I cannot hear you, and thus I don't think the chat or the channel can hear you. But I'll say this though. Shout out to Jamar. I want to thank you for tuning in once again. If you can hear me, shout out to the chat. I'm gonna switch you out though, Jamar. Thank you for asking your questions, man. And let me get Miz on here. Oh, Jamar's back. What up?
I'm.
Oh, he's stuck again.
Ooh. I'll check my camera. Ooh. Sorry,
Yeah,
y'all had to see an ugly black man on the camera.
Let me just get your last thoughts before I pop Miz on.
That's kind of all I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But appreciate it though.
No problem, man. Have a good one.
You too.
Hello, Miz.
What's up, Hub? How we doing over here, huh?
I'm so.
All right. I hear you. Listen, I put out a video tonight. I want you to check it out. I went a positive route for once. Instead of screaming, sweating, cursing, screw all that. We're past all that. It is what it is. We know what it is this year. That's all. So I say we move forward. We start looking at what we have because we have some good stuff. We have a big draft. And someone's going to have to make a big decision on Daniel Jones, which I already think that this decision has been made. So, because by bringing back Judge, which I'm fine with, I'm thinking that Jones is coming back. So, which is
Mhm.
fine also because I don't like any of the quarterbacks in this draft. And I ain't doing another 4 to 5 year project because if that's the case, then you're already 3 years into Jones. So you might as well stick with that project. You know what needs to be done? It's pretty simple. Everyone out there, there's no ignoring it. I don't care what kind of sexy plays you like or you found in this draft. Our picks have to be offensive line and a defensive end. That's got to be the first 3 rounds. I don't care.
Yeah.
2, 3 of them.
I think the first 2 rounds, right? Because we got 3 picks in the first 2 rounds. Use 2 of them on O-line, 1 of them on the edge.
I'm looking all the way through the 3 rounds because
So
we'll
how
get
many O-line, how many
we'll get
edge?
another lineman in the 3rd round. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Get another one, add another one,
Yeah.
get a guard. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Let's not leave any questions this year.
With the line. So my thinking was that with the 3rd round we try and get a linebacker, but you wouldn't do that.
No, you could. We got 2 picks in the 3rd round, huh?
Oh yeah,
And
we
you-
do.
and listen-
we do, right? Yeah, we do.
You might have more because I'm telling you right now, there was an almost. I wrote it I said it in my video. I gave it a 90. There's at least an 80% chance that one of those top 7 picks, those 2 picks, one of those we're gonna trade back and get a boatload. I could tell you that right now because we may not have the money to draft 2 picks in the top 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm. They
So
do
you're gonna
come
have
with big
to trade
contracts.
back. You trade back to like 10, 12, 14. You get another 2, another 3, maybe a 3rd in the next year's draft, like that.
You bring up a great point right there. Contracts for just top 10, let alone top 5 picks are gigantic. They're big. So now I ask you, if we trade one of them away with the one that we keep, right? Like, so we still have, say, like the 5th pick. Are you taking an edge if they're there, Aiden Hutchinson, Thibodeau, or are you taking a lineman?
Listen, if Hutchinson's there, you're taking him. But let's be honest, he's not going to be there. Let's be
Who's he
real.
going
man.
to? Who's he going to?
I mean, how does Detroit not draft him at 1? You tell me. That guy's going 1 or 2, man. And that coach in Detroit, he perfectly loves that type of guy.
I want Hutchinson so bad, man.
So do I. But listen, man, how is it happening? How is it going to
So that
happen?
you wouldn't take Thibodeau if Thibodeau's there.
Yeah, I would. If one of those 2 guys is there, and even the 3rd guy, Khalif, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
you'd have to think about him too, because he's a
for
real
me-
good edge rusher also.
For me, it's those 2 guys. I don't know too much about the 3rd one, but I think we both know those 2 guys. They seem like the real deal. So if either one of them are there at like say the 1 pick that we don't trade, I'll take them. But if they're not there, I'm definitely taking a lineman. Definitely taking the O lineman. If
Yeah,
both
so
of them
if
are
those,
gone.
if those 2 aren't there, then you're looking at Evan Neal if he gets to us, or Lindenbaum. Some
Mhm.
people think 6 is a little high for Lindenbaum. I don't, because if it's someone that you know is going to make a monster difference in your O-line, which has been disgusting for the last 5 years, you take him wherever. Because if you don't take him and you wait till later
How
on,
far down?
someone
So
might
then
snatch
I'll
you
ask
at
you.
9.
How far down do you want? Do you have a limit on how far down you would trade down?
Yeah, I wouldn't go past what 14. You know, because you're gonna have 1 pick at the top, right? You could
Mhm.
afford to move down to the 15, let's say the most, and if that gets you 3 or 4 more picks, you'll be crazy not to do it. This team needs more than 2 or 3 players, right? Hope we could feel. Listen, and if you also, I went over this. You'll watch my thing later on. Whoever wants to watch it. You also make a decision that you're moving on from Jones here. You could get a 2 and a 4 for Jones. Isn't that what the Jets got for Sam? So I'm trying to go along those lines. So you get another 2 and another 4. You could end up with 15 or 16 picks in the draft, man.
Let's look at teams that could trade up, right? New Orleans could trade up and try and take a quarterback. They're sitting at the 13th pick right now.
Right.
I'd do that. That's not too. It's not too
Where's
far
Denver?
back, right?
Where's Denver? Where are they
Denver
gonna be?
they're all the way at 16, man, and they're gonna continue to win a couple more games too.
Okay.
But the team I'm really looking for here that I'm not seeing is
Pittsburgh
Yeah,
Steelers
like
will
the
insure
Steelers-
Daniel Jones.
the Steelers. Though they're all the way. Where are they? Why? Hold up. Pittsburgh is at 15, so that's right at your threshold,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
If
they might
Pittsburgh
end up
continues to
further
lose some
down,
more
you know?
games,
Right.
because here's my thing. I think we both can agree New Orleans is going to lose a couple more games, so they're going to drop a little bit more.
Oh, I got you the biggest team of all, and I was reading it somewhere today. I don't remember where, but I saw it. The Carolina Panthers, my man.
You think they're gonna go with somebody else instead of just waiting for Burns
Carolina
to come back from
Panthers
injury?
are done with Cam Newton. He's done. They're done with Sam. It didn't work.
The thing is, they're not in a bad spot at 8 right now.
So if they believe in one of those QBs in the draft,
They'd
they'll
probably
take him.
stick. You know?
Okay. But if you really
That's-
love
that's why
Jones
that's-
and you think, wait a minute,
Yeah.
Jones over here would be perfect because we have an O-line for him. You know, if you think along those lines. But then again,
That would be hilarious. They take the 2 New York quarterbacks 2 years in a row.
I don't even know if the Panthers even have a 2 and a 4. Didn't they give that up for Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, never mind that.
That's why I'm looking at New Orleans because I think New Orleans is gonna lose a couple more games. That will probably, but they'll still be out the top 10.
Yeah.
And I could see them trading up for a QB if they really want to.
I don't know who else is out there that would, Atlanta maybe to have them after Matt Ryan, but I don't know.
But they're at 9. They're right behind Carolina. So I'm looking at New Orleans, Pittsburgh, maybe Atlanta if they really want to move on. Like those 3 teams to trade up, and then we trade down one of our first picks.
I know he's been connected the most to Denver because of Shermer, but I don't know how that's going to work. But
Oh, real quick, I didn't even get the super chat by Tudo. Shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. He says, don't really matter who you'd bring in as GM, head coach, or QB, because Moron Mara will have his sticky, slimy fingerprints all over everything and manipulate thoughts. What do you think about that?
no, it depends who you bring in. If you're keeping it, if you're going to promote someone who's been around forever inside the organization, yeah, he's still going to use him like a little puppet somewhat. But if you go outside the organization, like a guy like Reddick, let's just say per se, then you're bringing in a guy who's able to tell Mara, listen, you're hiring me, you got to step back, and I'm running the organization. But you're bringing back Judge, which means Judge still has a big hand in this now. Going forward from here on, I believe Judge had a big hand in last year's draft. So basically what they're saying
the
is,
last 2. I think we could say the last 2.
especially last year, because I'm one of the guys who believes that Gettleman was going to draft Parsons, and Mara asked him to let Judge, make his pick.
Yeah.
And he wanted the
Or-
wide receiver.
At this point, it's looking like Parsons or even possibly Slater, which, unfortunately we didn't get either.
I mean, yeah, so whatever. I'm not going to, it's gone already, whatever. I was angry about it, but it's gone. You can't change it. And what makes me more angry is that this guy, Tony, can't get his ass on the field. So,
Yeah.
that bothers me a lot. But
I don't know if you were here
This
earlier
year's
for
over.
my I don't know if you were here earlier for my injury rant where I just kind of got on our training and medical staff. Were you? I could really just give you the
I
quick
missed
points
that,
real
but I've
quick.
heard you talk about that in the past. So,
Yeah, so it's basically like you look at other teams, like look at the Cowboys, best example I could use. Last year, right? The Cowboys had a bunch of injuries on their defense, and that was like one of the main reasons their defense was so bad. They let the players sit out the year. They gave them all the time in the world to heal, to recuperate, and they were like, yo, let's look to next year. With the Giants, tell me not, Miz, this year, last year, the past however many years, we rush our players back every single time. We rushed Daniel Jones back last year. We rushed Saquon Barkley back this year. We rushed both Kenny Galladay and Kadarius Toney back. And because we're rushing them back, they're not healing completely. So that plus the turf issue, plus that I really think we have like just a bad training and medical staff in general, I think is why these guys keep getting injured. Because no other team that's letting their players actually rest like a long time, their players are not getting injured again. It's just us.
well, because we're so desperate to try to win, so they're rushing players back. But now the season's over, so I would leave these guys out. You know what, Tony? You don't have to come back. Sit out. You got to be ready for next year. If we were fighting for a playoff spot, Leo would come back in a week or two, but there's no reason to. So go sit out, relax, rest. We need you for next year, and
Exactly.
I
Actually,
think
heal
one more game
properly.
with Barkley, man. And after that, I would really think about maybe it's time to put him on the shelf for next year, because I'm still have high hopes that Barkley will come back and have a big year next year if we
Hey,
get an O-line.
still hoping that. Remember, everybody says the ACL injury is a 2-year injury.
Right. And I'm thinking that we'll finally address this O-line this offseason, which would help a run game. If you want to have any kind of offense, you better go get an O-line. We're wasting players, man. Barkley, Galladay, people are mad at Galladay. Oh, he doesn't get open. This was bad money. Man, you don't have an O-line. So he can't even get downfield. Okay?
And like I feel like people are really forgetting that when Jason Garrett was here, he was getting like 1 target a game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Targets matter.
But I think a lot of it does play into that. Garrett didn't trust the O-line enough to draw up plays to go down the field. You know, Hub, it had to be a
You
sneaky.
know what? Yeah, that's a good
action
point. That's a good point.
I think he didn't. It wasn't the quarterback. I think he didn't trust the line at all, which is proven. And look, everybody wanted Garrett out, man. How's that looking right now? Who's Kitchens? What is he? Superman? Kitchens is nobody. Okay, it's
I
the
said it
same
in my
problem.
reaction video. Yeah, I said in my reaction video we got rid of Garrett. Garrett was certainly part problem, but if you thought the problem was Garrett and Garrett alone, like you're gonna be disappointed, and a lot of fans are disappointed with what's happening.
Yeah, Garrett was sitting home Sunday and laughing. Trust me, he was, because people wanted to pin it all on him. Man, these guys don't. He's been in the league forever. What do you think? He doesn't know a thing about football? We don't have an O-line. It's been the same problem. It's the common theme. If you didn't get it before, you get it now.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Forget about last year. We didn't draft this guy. We didn't draft that guy. There's no point. Judge does deserve a little more time. If we keep changing a coach every 2 years and the new coach keeps taking on the old coach's players, it's never going to work.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
You know?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I said that to Jamar. I was like, oh, it was either to Jamar or to Deidre. I'm like, you don't want to give this baggage to the next coach, man. It's not gonna work out.
Because that's what we did to Judge. That's what we did to Sherman, McAdoo. It just keeps on going on and on. You got to stick with someone for like 4 years. Let him build his team his way. Even next year. Don't come into next year saying, oh, we don't win 10 games and make the playoffs. This guy's done. He's fired. No, because if you win, if you won 8 games and missed the playoffs, that was major progress.
Yep.
You got to look at it that way. It's got to be little steps now. Unfortunately, you know, like that's just, I know we don't have any patience because we've been losing for so long, but hey, you got to be realistic, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Miz, as always, bro. If y'all are not subscribed to Miz or haven't checked him out, go do that right now. You heard the man. He put out that new bit about the Giants and possibly having a bright future. I know I'm gonna watch it when I eat my dinner right here afterwards.
2 hours ago, it's up there. The people already sending me likes. Someone said they want me as a GM, but listen, I'm just saying, like, instead of always being negative, which is what we're hearing all over the radios and everything, I'm trying to put a little positive because at some point this is gonna turn around because history shows the Giants have gone through this ugly shit before, and then they bounce back and win 2 Super Bowls in 4 years, and they've done it twice in their history. So, history, I believe in history repeats itself. And we're still, to me, we're still one of the best organizations in football. So I'm just going to stick around and wait. It's just the way it's going to be. And I'm still a big believer in Barkley. And people are talking stupid about, get rid of him, blah, blah, like he's nothing. I seen some good runs yesterday where he showed you his legs are starting to get back.
You know, at this point, I'm hoping that is that trope of what people are saying. The ACL is 2-year injury. So he'll have his second year this in 2022, and we'll see what's really up.
By the way, one last thing. So you watched the Army-Navy game Saturday?
No, I did not.
The Army-Navy game was at MetLife for the first time ever. 2 guys sprained their ankles.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You see where I'm going on? It's probably a coincidence, but those guys never got hurt before, they said. That was their first injury.
The turf.
Yeah,
oh, my God. They put those early young careers at risk, man.
Go ahead, Hope. All right. Good talking to you. I'll be listening.
Nah, it's all right, though, man. Miz, thank you for calling in, man. Have a good one, bro.
All right.
And shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. He says somebody should buy a pair of prescription glasses for Joe Judge so he could see better because he's been punching his own nose for 60 minutes. Because I agree with a lot of what Miz said. And like I feel like I've been saying the same thing over and over again. Give Judge his 3rd year. It doesn't take away from the fact that he does have to improve on some stuff, which is, you know, he definitely needs to get this team back on track in terms of discipline. Definitely needs to improve on that conservative philosophy. But, like, give him the 3rd year, man. But, guys, that's going to be it for tonight. We hit that 1.5 hour mark. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank you all for asking your questions, being in here, and calling in. Shout out to everybody in here. F-Star, Will K, Mike, Tudo, Sajid. Let's see here. Soba Party, Jamar, Alfreda. Luann was in here. Mike Nixon, Miz, of course, Lucas, Ash Money. Shout out to everybody in here, man. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm gonna see you Wednesday night for Young Guns. If I have time, I'll see you tomorrow night. But if anything, you'll see me sometime during the week, man. That's it for now. I'm out. Peace.